So I am very lazy nowadays. So talking about psychological measurement of individual differences, the nature of individual differences, characteristic and construction of instrumentalized psychological test. What are the tests? Type of test, use of test, misuse of test, limitation of psychological tests, ethically misuse in use of psychological test. So it is quite interesting for me. So talking about psychological measurement of individual differences. So individual difference refers to the ways in which people vary from each other in terms of their thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So you and me are very much differences. I am, if you are watching, then you are watching. Then I and I in the past I'm reading something. So these differences can due to variety of factors, including genetics. Genetics is the main factor between the differences. Okay, the environment is there and experience is there. Environment have 10% contribution, I think, and experience have 90% contribution. Environment become the cost in the change in the genetics. So these are the factors are genetic, environment, and experiences. Then psychological measurement is the process of quantifying individual differences. We are quantifying, measuring. This can be done through the use of psychological tests, which are standardized instruments that are designed to measure specific constructs such as intelligence, personality, and aptitude. So, what are the characteristics and construction of standardized psychological tests? First, these tests have number of characteristics. First, they are administered and scored in consistent manner. Then they have been developed and validated through a large sample of people. Then they have clear instruction and scoring procedures. Then they have been sourced to be reliable and valid. So construction of standardized psychologist tests involve a number of steps. First, defining and construct to be measured, developing items that measure the construction, administering the item to be sample of people, analyzing the data to determine the reliability and validity of the data. So what I get is that we have some test, we have some instructions, and we get score. So what are the type of test? So there are a variety of different tests. First, intelligence test used to measure person's cognitive abilities such as reasoning, problem solving, and memory. Then personality test to test personality traits such as extroversion, agreeableness, neurocriticism. Then aptitude test to measure person's ability to learn and perform a specific task. Then achievement test, person's knowledge, person is skilled in particular areas such as math or reading. It is achievement is then promote projecting test. These are designed to measure unconscious aspect of personality by asking people to interpret ambiguous stimuli. So these are the five tests: intelligence, personality, aptitude, achievement, projective test. What is use, misuse, limitation of psychological test. So the test can be used for a variety of purposes. First, to diagnosis, to know mental disorders such as depression and anxiety. For the selection, psychology tests can be used to select people for jobs, schools, programs. Then in research, psychological tests can be used to conduct research on human behavior. Then these tests are used to develop and evaluate intervention for mental health problem for the future references. Then, and it is important to note that psychological tests are not perfect. They can be misused and have limitations. Some of the ways in which psychological tests can be misused include: first, using them for purpose which they were not intended. For example, my father had given me 40,000 just to go to the city and to study there offline. What I chose, I find my friend are living in an apartment. I purchased a laptop for my study. That opened infinite dimension for me. So actually, I misused that, but as a result, I think I got some benefits. So the same way, using the for the purpose which they were not intended. So it was a mere example. So second is not following the proper procedure for administering and scoring the test. If the tester is not using proper procedure and maybe human error, so that's there. Then interpreting the result incorrectly. If we interpret the result incorrectly. So, what are the some limitation of psychological test? First, they can be only used to measure limited range of individual differences. Not all the details can be known. They can be affected by factors such as person's motivation and mood. For example, I know that they are testing my thing, and I am responding as I know that my the test is going on. So that there's factors is there. They can be biased against certain group of people because they are made by somebody who is of different environment. So the bias and against the group of people is there. Then talking about ethical use of psychological tests. So there are a number of ethical issues. First, there should be informed consent. People should be informed about the purpose of the test, how the test will be used before the test. Then confidentiality. The research of the test should be kept confidential. Then fairness. The test should be fair to all group of people. So not be like that if you are some, for example, from different gender, from different caste, from different community, from different group of people, and if we were in the Jawaharlal Vidyalaya area and there was a hostel, four or eight or something, that hostel. So if somebody discriminate against the name of the houses, you are from Udagiri, you are from Nilgiri, you are from Shivalik, and you are from that house, so based on any criteria, there should not be unfairness. Appropriate use, test should be used for the purpose of which it was intended. So that's all. Okay, what is the next? Psychological well-being. So just copying right now the position, it is going to the OBS studio. So signing off, bye.